I thought it was about time that I maybe did a bit of an update on my philosophy when it comes to looking after raw denim. There's a lot of different opinion out there, and this is just mine. It's changed over the years, and I just thought it might be useful just to share where I'm currently at with how I look after denim, why you should consider looking after your denim, what's good about washing, what's good about soaking, and just basically put it out there. And I'm very happy for you to tell me your experiences and challenge me on how things could be done differently from my perspective. Okay, so we've got a couple of pairs of denim here. This is my 2019 denim. It's a pair of Benzac B01s and a nice pair of super slubby Onis, which are sort of pretty heavyweight. These are 20 ounce jeans. These are a medium weight, 15.5 ounces. So two pretty different denims. The Onis have come up to 6 months, and the Benzacs have been worn much more frequently. These are my daily wearers at work, and they're just over 3 months. So they're both in need for some washing. So what I'll do is I'll tell you why you might wish to wash, why you might not want to wash, my general philosophy, and how I'll apply this to these jeans here. So first of all, why wouldn't you want to wash your jeans? Well, mainly the whole story is contrast and indigo loss. So the reason why people sort of put off washing their jeans normally is to make sure you get that high contrast, like you're starting to see come through here, where you're getting the sort of the peaks where the indigo wears off, giving you nice whiskers coming out from the crotch, highlighting the features around the edges of the pockets. And it's that contrast. And if you wash your jeans all the time, wash your denim all the time, you'll be taking out indigo all the time, and you just won't get that sharp contrast. That is really the reason why people don't wash their denim. There is a secondary argument around the environmental impact of washing, but I think it's generally around the aesthetic rather than the ethical. On the flip side, why should you wish to wash your jeans? Well, for me, there's really sort of 3 reasons. Number 1 is longevity. So certainly with a starchy, tight weaved fabric, you need to do something to help the fibres survive, really. There are stress points, and over time the friction between the fibres, exaggerated by the dirt and debris which gets into the jeans, will create a blowout. So on these Hyatts, which are a tight sort of medium weight, I think it's about 12 ounces, maybe a little bit more, highly starched, I didn't wash these for 6 months, and there were some blowouts occurring on the backs of the knees. These Levi's, which are actually a great jean, I don't know if they still make these, but the 511s in Eternal Day, a very good priced salvage jean, lightweight but very nice. They equally experience as blowouts around the crotch and at the back of the knees. So they're very similar fabrics to the Benzacs, and without washing them, these for 6 months, these went whole 12. They did have that stress. I'll put in a couple of close-ups so you can see what I mean by blowouts. So number 1, longevity. Number 2 is probably a hygiene issue, freshness. To be perfectly honest, I don't see a big issue with odours in my denim. Every time I wear them, I hang them out on a hanger just by the loops. They're hung off a clothes rail, sort of in an open-aired space, like people would have done when people used to wear wool suits in the early part of the 20th century, so the 1950s, say. People weren't washing their wool suits all the time, their wool trousers. They hung them. Occasionally they might send them to a specialist cleaner, but the idea you need to constantly wash your outer garments is very much a new thing. So hanging them, airing them, absolutely fine. There's a reason for some people to wash them. If you get dirt on them, if you spill your dinner down them, yes, you want to wash them. Understand that. There is the freezer trick, so you can pop your jeans in the freezer in a plastic bag. Apparently that kills the bacteria. Never had to do it. I'm sort of at least 5 years into this, and half a dozen pairs of jeans, never had an issue. The third main reason for washing is to just draw in a little bit more of that shrink. So over time, you'll certainly stretch out your jeans on the waistband, and the general sort of feel of them will stretch out a bit. Sometimes it's nice just to give them a hottish, sort of 40 degrees plus soak or a wash, and that will tighten them back up again, just get that fit back. Sometimes that can be the reason for getting your jeans wet. So in terms of how you wash, the products here I have always end up in the bathtub. So I've got a specialist Samurai Denim soap here, and this is a soy-based organic detergent. Bit fancy. Woolite Black, Woolite Dark is just as good. More easily accessible, especially if you're one of our American viewers. Very easily accessible. So washing, I tend to use one of those products in a bathtub. 30 minutes soaking with detergent, then 30 minutes in cold water just to rinse that out, and I air dry them. That's it. If I'm doing a soak rather than a wash, so I tend to soak every 3 months. Well, wash every 3 months. Soak every 3 months, and then the following 3 months I'll wash. So as every quarter I'm getting these wet. So the soak simply is to take out the dust and debris. It's not to apply any detergent, nothing like that. Okay, so what am I going to do with these jeans? Well, as I say, these are my jeans for 2019. I've had 6 months on the Samurais and 3 months just over on the Benzacs. Now, neither of these have been washed or soaked so far, so I've already contradicted myself. I would have normally considered washing these or soaking these at the 3 month mark to just relax the fibres, to give a little bit of help in terms of longevity, but this is such a loose and open weave, I don't believe it's got that sort of potential to shred itself. So I've left these for 6 months. Now these are going to get a bit of detergent, they're going to get the Samurai soap, and we'll show you how that works in a minute. But yes, these I think do not need the same washing regime as a tighter, starchier denim. The fades on these are really soft as well because it's come pre-washed, so it's never been starchy. So very soft and subtle fades. I just wanted to maximise the fading potential on these before they got wet. For the Benzacs, different story. Like the Levi's and the Hyatts, these are a medium weight, starchy, tight weave. These definitely, I believe, do need to get wet, whether it's a soak or a wash every 3 months to stop the blowouts from the crotch area. You can see where the stresses are, where the fades are occurring. Eventually those will be the areas where you've got a higher risk of getting a blowout. Equally on the backs of the knees, you can start seeing the nice highlights popping through. Again, that is a high risk area in my opinion. So these definitely do need to get wet. They've been around for 3 months. Because I've worn them so much, literally every working day, I am going to use a bit of detergent. I don't have any hygiene issues with these, but it just seems prudent at that point to give them a bit of detergent.
Bathtub filled with water, about 40 degrees, and we're just putting a couple of tablespoons of the detergent. Just mix it in, and the next thing is to get the jeans in and make sure they're fully submerged. So just need to make sure that they're completely saturated, all the air is knocked out of them. Half an hour later, pull them out, bring them out. Some funny coloured water there. And then the next soak, back into a 40-degree bath, this time completely clear, clean water. I used to do a cold soak after this, but I don't think it's really necessary. After half an hour, wring them out. Really sort of try and get as much water out at this point. Sometimes people wrap it up in a towel to really soak it up, because it will just speed up drying. Then just hang it up on a clothes hanger, somewhere warm and well aired, and you're done.
Okay, so both these pairs of jeans have now been through a wash in the bathtub. So both have been washed with the Samurai soap and then hung to dry naturally. That's about it. Just a couple of little points on the post-wash care. One thing I do, and this is to make sure that the stretch or the shrink in your leg is minimised or corrected, is that I do stretch out the inseam and the outseam, because that dimension will not stretch out again with wear. So if you shrink on those dimensions and you lose the location of your honeycombs on the backs of your knees, then you'll be starting again with a new pattern there. So I think it's quite important just to stretch out the legs. The other little trick with the honeycombs is that in order to get those setting back in nicely, when you first wear these, you can either put them on slightly damp, so you can sort of set those creases back in, or just on the backs of the knees. If you've got them nice and dry as I have here, you might want to just put a wet paper towel on there, kneel down and just pinch it back there, and then that will just make the backs of the knees slightly moist, and you can reset those creases and they'll go back in exactly where they were before, but it really helps get that sort of sharp contrast. Whilst we're back here, you can see the honeycomb setting in there. You can see the whiskers coming through on the crotch there. One of the things I think I've observed post-wash is that the sharp white accents which you might have had just before your wash come in slightly blue again. It's almost like there's a bit of indigo bleed through the fabric. So I always thought once you wash, you get that big reveal. I don't think you do. I think you get the big reveal, the true sort of extent of the fade, maybe sort of a week or so of wear after your wash. But your mileage might vary. If you've had the same observation, do let me know. If you've got different opinions, share that. Before we wrap up, one thing that can happen when you wash your jeans, certainly when you've got fairly thick, sort of natural sort of tanned leather patches like that, is it can be quite drying. Don't recommend using a tumble dryer, but if you do, you'll completely trash your leather. But whatever you do, I think these do need a little bit of care. So both these patches are slightly dried out now, slightly hard, and what I tend to use is this Chamberlain's Leather Milk Healing Balm. Any sort of leather treatment will do. If you've got the Doc Martens Wonderballs or anything like that, just a little bit of treatment on those will get them nice and flexible again and sort of correct any drying that you'd cause through the washing process. Okay, well that's my thoughts and my philosophy on looking after my denim. That's what I've sort of come to sort of use after sort of using sort of five years of raw denim. Every year, so I come up with a slightly different variation. Let me know how you look after your denim. Is there anything I'm doing wrong? What should I try next? What products you use to wash your denim? Be interested to hear. If you haven't seen my channel before, please check it out. Lots of denim, lots of boots, bit of everyday carry, fountain pens, pen knives, that sort of stuff. Check it out, might share some other common interests. If you thought this video was useful, give it a thumbs up. Of course, I'd love it if you subscribed, and I'll see you for the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.